Malaga Radio.
Freshly squeezed.
The juice on all the daily events along the coast.
With just a little bit of zest.
Hola, and welcome to another sun-soaked edition of the Malaga Radio Weekly Diary. I'm Carmen.
And I'm Baptiste, and together we're your local guides to what's happening this week across the Costa del Sol.
It's mid-June, and the coast is buzzing. Beach clubs are back, rooftop music's in full swing, and Marbella Feria is just getting started.
We've got you covered with all the highlights, from flamenco nights to paddleboard mornings, tapas trails to castle concerts.
Plus, a big summer favorite, this week's special takes a deep dive into the world of water parks, both on land and floating just off the beaches.
Whether you're here for the churros or the canyoning, there's something in the mix for everyone.
Let's jump in with our water park special.
Malaga Radio.
Okay, so here's the thing. We love summer on the Costa del Sol. We do. But let's be honest. By mid-June, it's not just hot. It's don't touch the steering wheel without a towel hot.
Or 2 shows before lunch, hot. Or why is the sea warmer than my apartment, hot?
Exactly, which is why this week's special is all about cooling off and splashing out, quite literally.
We're diving into the water parks of the Costa del Sol, not just the big name ones either, though, yes, we'll talk about those 22-meter death slides you can hear screaming from the car park.
We're also looking at the inflatable obstacle courses floating out in the sea, the chill-out beach club setups for families, and 1 or 2 resort-style escapes with water cannons and pirate ships. So whether you're here with toddlers, teens, or in a grown-up group who forgot how much fun this stuff is,
this episode's for you. And look, water parks aren't just giant playgrounds. They're places where apparently 74% of visitors say they go just to make family memories. And you know what? That tracks.
So grab your flip-flops and a waterproof phone case. Let's go make a splash. Right, let's start with the classics, the big 3. These are your full day out, bags packed, sun cream at the ready water parks, land-based, noisy, and brilliant.
First up, Aqualand Torremolinos. It's the biggest one on the coast. And listen, if you've ever wondered what a 22-meter vertical drop feels like, that kamikaze slide will answer the question loudly.
It's massive. You can hear people screaming before you even get your ticket scanned. But the good thing is, there's more than just the thrill rides. There's a huge wave pool, some lazy rivers, and a proper mini park just for little ones. So don't panic if your crew includes someone under 4 feet tall. They'll be just fine.
Up tip, get there early. Queues for the big slides grow fast. Rent a locker, wear waterproof shoes, and maybe bring your own snacks. Food prices are a bit theme park.
Okay, next, Aqua Valleys over in Torre del Mar. Bit more chilled and way less touristy. Great if you are staying on the eastern end, like Nerja, Rincon, or Vélez, Malaga.
It's got an 80-meter kamikaze of its own, plus a quick river, multi-lane racing slides, splash zones, and even a VR arcade indoors. That's a bonus if the sun gets too much or you need a digital fix between drenchings. What
I like about Aqua Valleys is the layout. Everything's spread out, so it doesn't feel too cramped. And there's a separate play area for the really little kids, proper shaded picnic spots too. Very Spanish, very chill.
And then we've got Aqua Mijas, halfway between Marbella and Malaga, just off the A7 near Fuengirola. Smaller, easier to manage, and really popular with families.
It's not flashy, no record-breaking slides here, but it's just easy. There's a wave pool, soft kamikaze ramps for the braver kids, and this giant dragon thing that spits water while the little ones climb over it.
That dragon is called Die the Dragon, by the way.
Of course it is. It sounds like something out of Carmen's fantasy novel collection.
They also run things like Aquazuba sessions and group games during the day. Very local, very friendly, and not expensive compared to the big parks.
Honestly, if you're a parent trying to keep 3 different age groups happy in one place, Aquemas might just save your sanity.
So there you go. Aqualand for big thrills, Aquavelis for East Coast chill, and Aquamijas for manageable family fun.
3 totally different vibes, but all of them absolutely soaked in sunshine. So maybe you're not after queues and mega slides. Maybe your idea of water fun is a little more curated.
Enter Holiday World Resort, right on the beachfront in Benalmádena. It's not just a hotel, it's a full-blown family complex with its own private water park built in.
We're talking pirate ships, mini slides, water cannons, pools for toddlers, and a lazy float zone where parents can actually relax for 5 minutes. And all of it just a few steps from your sunbed and the beach bar.
It's part of an all-inclusive hotel setup, but here's a twist. You don't need to stay there to enjoy it. They offer day passes during the summer months. So if you want a one-off treat day with lunch, towels, and everything handled, this is the place.
Also a good shout if you've got guests staying nearby or fancy something more structured than just plonking yourself on the sand with a supermarket sandwich.
And if you are the kind of family that likes a bit of organized chaos, water park in the morning, mini disco in the evening, then you might want to look at booking the full stay. Everything's in one place. And the reviews from parents are glowing.
And the kids, absolutely knackered by bedtime.
Which, as every parent knows, is the real holy goal.
Okay, now for something completely different. You've seen them, right? Those inflatable obstacle courses bobbing around just off the beach?
They look like bouncy castles crossed with Ninja Warrior sets. And yes, they're real floating water parks anchored out on the Mediterranean.
They pop up every summer in places like Fuengirola, Benalmádena, Puerto Banús, Estepona, Torre del Mar. If the sea looks like it's full of bright green and yellow jellyfish platforms, that's probably one.
Let's talk about Costa Water Park first. They're the big name. They run most of the ones you'll see around Marbella, Fuengirola, and Benalmádena. Each one's about 800 square meters, and they're packed. Trampolines, climbing walls, balance beams, slides, and big wobbly things you will fall off.
And falling off is half the fun. You climb, you laugh, you splash, you fail, then you do it again. It's holiday joy in a life jacket.
Speaking of, life jackets are mandatory, and lifeguards are always on duty. So it's active, yes, but still safe. But you don't need to be super fit either, just willing to get wet.
Most parks are open to kids 4 and up, though smaller ones might need to stick with a parent. Best bet is early morning or after 4 p.m. Midday sun out there is intense. You're floating, but you're still frying.
And pricing is really fair. Usually it's about 15 euros for an hour or 25, 30 for a day pass. That gives you in and out access, which, let's be honest, you might need. It's exhausting in the best way.
There's also a fun beach park. They're running in Estepona and Torre del Mar. A little less hectic, but same idea. Floating play zones with obstacle paths and big splash finales. More mellow, more space to play.
I took my niece to one last summer and she lasted 17 minutes before deciding she was done. I, however, was having the time of my life.
These parks are ideal if you've got teens who need to burn off some energy, or if you're in a group and want to do something different before lunch. Even watching from the shore is fun. There's always someone bouncing off a corner like it's a cartoon.
And listen, this isn't just for the kids. Adults go wild for it. It's the kind of activity where you forget you're supposed to be grown up. And that's the point.
Exactly. You don't need to book in advance. Just rock up to the little beach kiosk near the floating zone. Swimmers on, life jacket on, and off you go.
Floating parks are like a sea-based reset button. You arrive with sunglasses and attitude. You leave soaked, laughing, and slightly sunburned.
And maybe with a few mystery bruises.
Badge of honor, right? Shall we talk about the why behind it all?
Let's. Because it's not just water slides and wobbles. There's something deeper here. So let's zoom out for a second, because yes, it's all splash and slides and sunscreen in the eyes, but water parks aren't just about thrills.
They're about moments, tiny ones, like your kid conquering their first big slide, or that quiet float in the lazy river where everyone just stops together.
You wouldn't think it, but the stats back it up. 74% of people say they go to water parks not for the rides, but for the family time, for the memories.
And honestly, that tracks. Because whether it is 6 or 60, something happens when you're ankle deep in pool water, queuing for something ridiculous, holding your flip-flops like a tourist badge.
It's pure, simple, unplugged fun. No screens, no emails, no TikToks, just sun, water, and people you care about getting absolutely soaked and loving every second.
We've even heard from listeners who say, well, it was the one day of their trip where everyone was smiling by lunch.
So here's our advice. Don't overthink it. Bring sunblock, bring a waterproof pouch, bring snacks if you're budgeting, and say yes to the photo at the end. You'll want to remember it.
And for those of you who run a water park or a floating zone, what you're offering isn't just entertainment, it's a memory factory. And we've loved featuring you.
All right, let's wrap it up and tell people where to find him. We've cannonballed through kamikaze slides, bounced off inflatables, and maybe soaked a microphone or two along the way.
And if you're not at least considering a splashy day out after this we might have to play the episode again on loop.
If you miss any of the names we mentioned, like Aqualand, Mijas, or even the floating Costa Water Park zones, don't worry, you can find them all listed on Malaga.net.
Yep, we've created dedicated pages for each venue so our listeners can find them through the app, see where they are on the map, check opening times, all of that.
And if you run one of these places, we've already published your listing. It's live, it's active, and it's ready for you to claim and manage. You're welcome.
Just hit the Claim My Venue button and you get access to edit your page, post events, share offers, and connect with visitors in real time.
And hey, if you loved being featured, you might be a perfect fit for one of our Spotlight editions. That's where we go deeper. Full podcast episodes, behind the scenes, even guest soundbites.
You can find out more on the site or just drop us a message.
Oh, and Pia's new Factor 50 Beach and Wellness series is now live too, including her take on the best floating water parks along the coast. And before we dry off for good, a quick look inland. Because not all water fun lives by the sea.
Oh, this is the hidden gem section, isn't it?
And it is. Let's start with La Viñuela Reservoir, just north of Vélez, Malaga. It's the largest inland body of water in the province. And honestly, it's stunning. Kayaking, paddleboarding, even sailing, but all in complete peace and quiet. No beach crowds, just birdsong, olive groves, and the sound of your paddle hitting the water.
Sounds like the Fuengirola in the best way.
Then there's cable skiing at Guadalmina Alta, just outside Marbella. Imagine wakeboarding on a lake, no boat required. It's a looped cable system, beginner-friendly, and super fun for teens and groups.
That's the kind of thing you do, thinking you'll just watch and end up on your second lap screaming with joy.
And for the truly adventurous, canyoning. Places like Cima del Diablo, near Juscar, the Genile Valley, or even parts of the Guadalmedina River offer guided tours. It's hiking, climbing, sliding down natural rock chutes, and leaping into pools carved by centuries of water. Total nature rush.
I mean, if we had more sunscreen, I'd say let's go now.
And if you are into that wilder side of the Costa, Lumi's latest Active Adventures episode, Inland Pools and Hiking, is the perfect next listen. She explores spots like Cuava del Gato, Río Hichilar, and Charco Azul, with tips for staying safe and finding those crystal clear natural pools.
It's peaceful, it's pure, and it's all just a little inland detour away.
All right, that's the splashy part done, but we're just getting started. Coming up next on the Malaga Radio Weekly Diary.
We leave the water behind and head into the hills because this week isn't just about splashing around.
From the last flamenco echoes of the Marbella Feria to flower-strewn village parades for San Antonio, it's a week of tradition, processions, and local flavor.
Let's dry off and let's head inland for something a little more timeless.
Malaga Radio.
All right. Time to put your flip-flops back on and wander inland for something a little more traditional.
Although, depending on where you are, the party may not be over just yet.
Marbella Feria kicks off this Monday, and trust us, it's one of the most colorful weeks of the year. The Feria de Dia spills out through the Alameda with music and dancing from midday, and by night, the fairground lights up with rides, food stalls, and casitas full of flamenco flair.
Friday is a special one too. They've got a noise-free afternoon for families and anyone who wants to enjoy the atmosphere without the full volume.
Even just walking through is worth its Andalusian joy on full display.
But if you're in the mood for something a little more intimate or rustic, let's talk about San Antonio.
June 13th is San Antonio's feast day, and several towns in the province honor it with their own local flair. Two of our favorites, Cutar and Alfarnada.
They're small, they're beautiful, and they know how to celebrate. Think winding streets with floral altars, processions led by children in traditional dress, and tiny brass bands playing as they snake through the village.
In Cutar, they celebrate over several days with music, dancing, food stalls, and a community lunch that ends in impromptu singing. It's the kind of event where no one's a stranger for long.
And in Alfanate, there's a traditional mass, a parade, and fireworks to close it all out. You'll probably end up sitting in a plaza somewhere with a cold drink and a plate of homemade migas by sunset.
You don't need to know anyone, and you don't need to understand every word. Just turn up, follow the music, and smile when someone hands you something wrapped in foil.
And if you really want a quirky local fiesta, Pizarro's Feria de Serralba is happening all weekend.
That's a proper village party. There's a community race, live flamenco, free paella on Sunday, and even a foam cannon if you need to cool off in the afternoon.
It's got a slightly chaotic, everyone pitch-in feel that we just love. You'll find kids on bouncy castles, grandmas dancing in the shade, and at least one local DJ playing reggaeton at 3 p.m.
It's hot, it's happy, and it's about as local as it gets.
And hey, if you're staying near Malaga, most of these villages are within an hour's drive. Check local timings, bring water, and remember, these aren't big production events, they're real.
Exactly. No tickets, no apps, no booking required. Just show up, say hola, and enjoy it. And if you're heading to Marbella this week and want the full lowdown, music, dress codes, where to find the churros.
Last week's episode, that's episode 21, was our dedicated Marbella Feria special. You find it on Spotify, Apple, or just tap on the episode front page on malagaradio.com.
All right, still with us? Good. Because coming up next, rooftop flamenco, beach DJs, and a castle gig that might be the most romantic night of your trip.
Let's talk music and nightlife.
Malaga Radio.
Right? Let's turn the volume up a little.
Music and nightlife this week has a very summer on the coast energy. Outdoor stages, beach DJs, flamenco rooftops, and one or two venues that know how to throw a party without overdoing it.
Let's start with something timeless. If you're in Malaga City, check out El Gallo Ronco Flamenco. They are doing live rooftop flamenco shows this week with small audiences and stunning views. It's intimate, real, and feels like a secret you're lucky to know.
That's the kind of experience that stays with you. You don't need to know the rhythm. Just sit back, sip your vermouth, and let the emotion do the talking.
Meanwhile, over in Fuengirola, Alcohol Lounge is heating things up with their sunset sessions. Think chill house music, cocktails by the beach, and DJ spinning from late afternoon into golden hour.
Is that, one drink before dinner turns into three kind of place, and very Instagram friendly if you're into that?
If you want something more energetic, Dreamers Marbella is back with its high season opening weekend. This Friday and Saturday, they've got guest DJs, light shows, and a VIP crowd that leans more glitter than flip-flops.
And for live music with a touch of grandeur, Castillo Sohai in Fuengirola is hosting Nacha Pop this Saturday. Iconic Spanish pop rock in an open-air castle setting? Yes, please.
Bring a blanket, wear something breezy, and maybe arrive a little early. It's a lovely walk up, and the views are spectacular.
Now with you over toward Nerja or Vélez Malaga, check out the Balcony of Europe area for smaller local acts playing acoustic sets in beach bars and taverns.
We saw a duo doing jazz covers last week with just a guitar and a box drum. Totally unadvertised, totally brilliant.
And that's one of our favorite things about the coast. The music doesn't always need a flyer, just follow your ears.
For something family-friendly, Marina Banyus is doing their free open-air music series this Saturday evening. There'll be a local band, some food trucks nearby, and a dance floor that gets a little wobbly once the sun sets.
Good for all ages. And no pressure to dress up. Just turn up, grab a bite, and enjoy the scene.
Quick shout to Benalmadnas, Plaza La Mezquita too. They've got community concerts midweek, usually with a brass band or choir. Great if you're staying nearby and want something wholesome after dinner.
And of course, the casetas in Marbella are full of flamenco, sevillanas, and late night joy all this week. You'll hear the music before you see the lights.
That's your cue to follow the rhythm and maybe learn a step or two while you're at it.
Coming up next, we're swapping soundtracks for seafood. It's time to talk tapas trails, feria food, and one beach club reopening you won't want to miss.
Food and hospitality just ahead.
Malaga Radio.
Right. Let's talk food. Because whether you're chasing feria snacks or settling into a long beachside lunch, this week has some delicious detours.
And you don't need a reservation at a Michelin star place to eat well on the Costa. You just need to know where to look.
Let's start with the Marbella Feria because food is half the fun there. During the Feria de Dia, look out for churros with chocolate, grilled chorizo in crusty rolls, and cold gazpacho served from coolers by the liter.
And if you're lucky enough to find a caseta that's doing homemade paella, don't hesitate. Pull up a chair, say buen provecho, and enjoy.
Meanwhile, Malaga City Center is bringing back its Tapas with Art series, a collaboration between galleries and restaurants where you get a small plate and a glass of wine with your entry ticket. It's perfect for a breezy afternoon.
Eat, sip, and look at something beautiful. That's kind of the summer motto, isn't it?
Over in Estepona, Quiriguinto Palm Beach is celebrating its seasonal relaunch with a beach barbecue weekend. Grilled sardines, veggie skewers, watermelon mojitos, the works. They're doing DJs from 2 p.m. both Saturday and Sunday.
It's one of those launch turns into sunset kind of places. Don't wear shoes you care about.
If you're staying toward the east, Torre del Mar's Noches de Bocado series is running Thursday through Saturday. Each evening, a different stretch of seafront bars serves small bites and house drinks for €3 a pop. It's casual, walkable, and usually full of music.
You can do 5 places and call it dinner, or do 8 and call it research.
Back inland, there's a bit of a hidden gem happening in Alora this week. A pop-up olive oil tasting tour that finishes with pan con tomate and local wine. It's educational, but in the best possible way, with snacks.
The guide there is great too. You learn what extra virgin really means and why the color of the oil isn't always what you expect.
And quick shout to Fuengirola's Mercado Gastronómico. It's running all week at the Plaza de España, street food stalls, local producers, and a tent where they do blind tastings with a little wine quiz on the side.
So whether you're eating churros in the Feria dust or sharing a bottle by the sea, this week is a full plate of flavor.
Up next, let's burn some of it off. Paddleboards, canyon hikes, rooftop yoga. It's time for Sports and Outdoor.
Malaga Radio.
Right, let's get moving. Or at least imagine we're going to.
Because summer on the coast isn't just about sun loungers and sangria. There are plenty of ways to stay active or adventurous without feeling like you're doing a workout.
Let's start easy. Sunset paddleboarding in La Cala de Mijas. Every evening this week, there are small group sub tours launching from the marina. It's calm, beginner-friendly, and gives you that magical light as the sun dips over the hills.
You don't need balance skills, just a sense of humor and maybe a change of clothes for after.
And if paddleboarding's your thing, keep an ear out. Pia's dropping not 1, but 4 new water sports podcasts this month, covering everything from jet skiing to sup yoga, kite surfing, and more.
They're full of beach tips, safety pointers, and a few laugh-out-loud moments, too. You'll find them under Factor 50 and Active Adventures wherever you get your podcasts.
Up in the hills behind Marbella, Refugio de Junar is hosting early morning guided hikes through olive groves and pine forest. The views are stunning, and the guides throw in a bit of local history and foraging tips along the way.
Plus, if you go early, it's still cool enough to make the climb without turning into a puddle.
Over in Conde la Victoria, this weekend brings back their Sea Caves kayak route. Paddling along cliffs and through small marine caves with a local guide. It's about 90 minutes with a swim stop and a bit of geology thrown in for fun.
That's a really special one. Not too intense, but you feel like you've been on an adventure by the end.
If you're in Malaga Center, rooftop yoga at La Fábrica is happening again Wednesday and Saturday mornings. Bring your mat, grab a smoothie after, and you're all set.
And it's very social. Expect a mix of locals and visitors, and a teacher who plays chilled flamenco guitar mid-flow. True story.
For something a little different, inland near Vélez Málaga, you've got La Viñuela Reservoir, which we touched on in the water park special. It's perfect for kayaking or soup without the waves, and there's a little cafe nearby for post-paddle tostadas.
You likely have the place almost to yourself, especially midweek. Just bring water and sun cream.
And finally, for thrill seekers, canyoning is back in full swing this month. The Cima del Diablo route near Juscar is one of the best. Natural pools, jumps, slippery chutes, all safely guided, of course.
Expect to get very wet and very smiling. It's like an obstacle course built by Mother Nature.
And don't forget, if you're looking for ideas like this in podcast form, Pia and Lumi both cover active adventures in their own series.
Or just search Feel the Pulse or Factor 50, depending on how fast or slow you like to move.
All right, whether it's caves or castles, surfboards or sangria, we hope you found something to try this week.
And if you're more the museum type, then the mountain kind, stay right where you are.
Because coming up next, we're heading indoors with rooftop galleries, hidden exhibits, and a few cool corners of culture you might have missed.
Malaga Radio.
Sometimes the best way to enjoy summer is to step out of the sun. And this week's cultural calendar gives you plenty of reasons to do just that.
art, architecture, ancient history, and yes, air conditioning. Let's dive in.
Starting in Malaga, CAC Malaga is hosting Julian Opie's Present Continuity, a hypnotic installation of animated LED figures, minimalist portraits, and sculptural shapes. It's bold, bright, and a great intro to contemporary art if you're new to it.
Plus, it's free and just a few minutes walk from the port. Perfect if you're combining culture with a cruise stop or a stroll along Mualeuno.
Around the corner, Museo Carmen Baptiste continues its elegant summer exhibition, Romantic Visions of Andalucía. It's all dusty paths, flamenco shoals, village life, and fiestas painted in the 1800s. Perfect if you're feeling inspired by the Feria.
Even if you're not a big museum person, that building is worth it alone. Cool stone floors, a hidden patio, and always something beautiful on the walls.
Center Pompidou Malaga also has a new rotation in its semi-permanent collection, including a few fun and provocative works on the theme of time, space, and memory. It's bright, colorful, and surprisingly engaging for kids too.
And under that giant colored cube, you've got shade, sea breeze, and a cafe next door. No complaints.
Further east, Nerja's museum continues its prehistoric cave art focus with a VR cave tour, plus interactive exhibits on ancient tools, fossils, and local legends. On Friday, they are hosting a hands-on archaeology workshop, kid-friendly and trilingual.
Great alternative to the beach, especially if you're traveling with curious minds.
In Estepona, stop by the Casa de las Tejerinas. This week's exhibit is called Sea and Light, a collection of coastal photography with big skies, small boats, and lots of quiet beauty.
It's right on the Plaza de las Flores, so you can pop in, enjoy the art, and then step straight out for coffee and people watching.
Benalmádena Pueblo is also worth a stop. The Felipe Orlando Precolombian Museum is small, but really unique, with exhibits from Mexico, Peru, and Central America. It's a hidden gem for history lovers.
Also, the Colomer's Monument nearby, not exactly a museum, but it feels like walking into a fairy tale. Great views, quirky architecture, and photo ops everywhere.
Inland in Mijas Pueblo, the CAC Mijas is currently showing Forms of Earth, an exhibit blending Andalusian ceramics with modern sculpture. It's peaceful, well-curated, and feels like a real local find.
And let's not forget Museo Rally Marbella. It's free, it's air-conditioned, and their Latin American Surrealism collection always surprises people. This week, they've added new works to their Feminine Visions gallery, exploring identity and heritage from a woman's perspective.
If you're closer to Torre del Mar, the Old Sugar Factory Cultural Center has a temporary photography show on Andalusian farming life. Black and white portraits, wheat fields, water wheels, beautifully raw and nostalgic.
And for something totally different, the Russian Museum collection in Malaga is wrapping up women in Russian art. It's layered, powerful, and a cool way to step into another cultural lens for an hour or two.
And don't worry if you're not fluent in Spanish. Most of these places offer English info panels, audio guides, or just enough visual storytelling to carry you through.
So whether it's sculpture or surrealism, cave drawings, or contemporary portraits, there's more than enough to inspire a cool, creative afternoon.
And hey, most of these are walkable from some seriously good tapas too.
Coming up, one last reminder of where to find all these listings, plus how to hear more on Freshly Squeezed.
Malaga Radio.
That wraps up this week's Malaga Radio Weekly Diary, your Sunday snapshot of what's happening on the coast.
You'll find us every week on Spotify, Apple, Audible, iHeartRadio, YouTube, podcast, and even Alexa. Just ask for Malaga Radio Weekly Diary wherever you get your podcasts.
And if you'd like to read back, check dates, or plan ahead, you'll find the full blog version at malagaradio.com right alongside all our past episodes.
Oh, and if this week's diary has you tempted to stay a little longer or come back soon, take a peek at Malaga Radio Travel. We've just launched it, and it's got all the booking tools you'd expect, but with the Malaga Radio twist. Easy, friendly, and built for travelers like you.
And for more events, beach tips, and coast updates, join us every weekday morning from 8 to 11 on Freshly Squeezed.
We'll see you there or back here next Sunday.
Hasta luego.
Malaga Radio. Malaga Radio.